welcome to my channel, Maze's Life, where I am terrible at managing money, but I'm trying to get better. Today we're going to be diving into a topic that I'm sure a lot of people can relate with, and that is living paycheck to paycheck, specifically how I've been living paycheck to paycheck for the past several years. So if you don't know, living paycheck to paycheck means that most or all of your income is spent on expenses. And specifically with me, more than all of my income is spent on expenses. And I have little left for savings or emergencies. I have actually none for savings or emergencies. In other words, so as soon as my paycheck comes in, the money goes out, and that goes out to cover bills, groceries, rent, and other necessities. However, a large part of my paychecks in the past were not going towards necessities, but it was going to having and maintaining a certain lifestyle, and that is how I ended up with as much debt as I have, as you saw in the previous video. I have more debt, more total debt than I make in an entire year's income. And so for me, because I've decided now to start taking these Dave Ramsey courses, I know it's going to take more than 2 years to pay it off. Now I know I'm not alone. Excuse me, don't lick that, thank you. Thank you. A majority of Americans are in debt and living paycheck to paycheck. The thing about that, it's very stressful. Knowing that I'm always, a moment's notice from going into more debt or not being able to afford any emergency. Right now, I'm trying to pay off debt, but I'm kind of stuck because I have so much debt and so much money going out every month compared to what's coming in month. I am accumulating a debt in other ways to pay off the debt that I currently have, kind of like I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. I have so much to pay in loans and minimum payments for my credit cards that I'm having to accumulate more credit card debt so that way I can have the cash available to pay the minimum payments on my loans and on my credit cards. So I know for me, I said my circumstance is largely my own doing because I was maintaining a certain lifestyle, but there are many others who are in the same predicament as me and are living paycheck to paycheck, but almost everyone, because like I said, majority of people are in debt, are one unexpected expense from being the exact same situation as I am. I just so happen to have accumulated debt doing it the wrong way. So there are several reasons why people find themselves in this situation. How I got into this situation is, for one, I do live in a high cost of living area. I do live in California. The rent, the healthcare, the groceries, gas, it can eat up a lot of my money, a lot of my income. And that can be the same way with you, especially if you live in a city or a high cost of living area. Secondly is my debts. I have credit cards, student loans, and other debts that add on to my monthly expenses. I also had some unprepared expenses that I knew that were going to come, but I did not prepare and save for them. So those were things like medical bills and car repairs. I also had unexpected expenses, such as when I couldn't afford my car repairs, I then decided to buy a new car. So it's my unexpected expense. My fifth way that I ended up in this area or in this situation is with my lifestyle inflation, going to fancy gyms, getting a personal trainer, doing several trips out of the country, paying for friends to also enjoy with my lifestyle. Lastly, the other way that I got myself into the situation is coping with hard days and then also rewarding myself for good days with food and clothes and shopping trips. Like, oh, if I'm having a bad day, let me go out and spend some money real quick on something that I want to give me that instant satisfaction to cope with having a bad day. But then if I had a great day, I did something great at work, I'm like, oh, I deserve this. And the exact same thing. I would go out and buy, shop, and reward myself for having a good day. However, even though those were the situations that got me into my current position, there are other ways, such as having stagnant wages. So while the cost of living keeps rising, many people's incomes haven't kept up. That's a little bit of me. I have had my income steadily go up, but it hasn't been completely stagnant. In other ways, unexpected expenses. I know I did have the one unexpected expense, but the unexpected expense of medical bills, car repairs, and emergencies. And then another way I can just quickly mention is just the lack of financial education. Many people were not taught how to budget, save, or invest. Okay, and I just wanted to quickly touch on, the emotional toll that being in the situation can have on anyone, specifically myself, since this is a video about me. So living paycheck to paycheck, it isn't just a financial issue, it's also an emotional one too. I touched on that when I talk about rewarding myself and coping for good days and bad days. It's hard. It can lead to anxiety, stress. Some can lead to depression. Mine never got that bad, just anxiety and stress. You might feel embarrassed to talk about money, or guilty for spending it on non-essential things. And then you kind of bury your head in the sand. You just try to make it to the next paycheck. So if you're stuck in this cycle, you're not sure. I know I gave some examples, but here are also some signs that you can have. Is if your bank account is almost empty before payday, or empty, or you had more credit card debt, you're not able to pay off the total balance before payday. Another sign is that you rely on credit cards to get through the month. That is me. You feel anxious every time every bill comes in, and you hope that it doesn't come in. Saving money feels impossible. Before you purchase anything, you have to check your bank account to see if you have the money and the funds to purchase it. There are several other signs, but those are the signs that I feel. So if you feel those same feelings, you experience those same signs, then you're not alone, because that's where I'm at right now. All right, so that is my breakdown of why and how I'm living paycheck to paycheck and have accumulated this nearly $72,000 of debt. As I said in my previous video, I've had more than $72,000 of debt, but that is where I'm starting off this time around and paying it off, and hopefully this time will be the time that sticks and I'm able to pay it off. I've attempted this debt-free journey before several other times, but this time I'm trying to focus on it, hit it head on. The first step in fixing the problem is first acknowledging that you're having a problem, and then figure out what led you to that problem so that way you can fix the problem. And that's why I'm taking this good hard look at myself. Thank you for watching this video. If you stayed to the end, I'd love to have you join me on this journey while I pay off my debt. You can join me as well if you are also paying off debt. However, I will be paying off debt and still enjoying my life. I've attempted this debt payoff so many times where I just quit cold turkey, and then I don't last past March, because March is my birthday. So this time I am not going to do the gazelle intense method that Dave Ramsey advises, because it just does not work for me. I'm in year 5 of trying to pay off debt, and it just does not work. So this year will be the official year. We're gonna start again at year 1, but I've attempted to pay off debt 5 years in a row now. So I'm still gonna enjoy my life, enjoy my 20s, but I will be trying to focus pay off this debt. If you like to watch me, if you like to join me, hit subscribe, click the like, leave a comment down below, especially if you have any advice for me. And if you want, you can share your story also down in the comments. Tell me what you're going through, what's helped for you, what motivates you, what do you do when you have a bad month, how do you go back on track. That is my biggest dilemma. Is March is the beginning of the year and it's September, so I have time before that happens, but that's also going to be 6 months into my journey. How do I stick on track when I know I'm going to mess up? Anyways, my next video will be tomorrow. It is going to be on my step-by-step plan of how I plan to pay off debt, and then you can just watch me throughout the rest of my years execute it. But that's what the video is going to be about tomorrow, my step-by-step plan to pay off my debt, $72,000 worth. And I would greatly appreciate it if you could stick around to watch me do it. Anyways, thank you, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.